there has been a recent trend of Indian medical students, be it MBBS or be it PG, leaving the country to study abroad, like in countries like China, Russia, Ukraine, etc. So, what do you think are the primary reasons for these students to leave the country and go abroad for studies?
Multiple reasons are there for this exodus to foreign countries, basically, because here the competition is too tough. In 2024, you have already seen that around 23.5 lakh students have appeared for the MBBS NEET UG examination, which includes MBBS, BDS, and other sciences also. So the seats are limited. The seats are somewhere around 1 lakh 9,000 only. So here the problem comes, what will happen to those 22, 23 lakh students who don't qualify? So the first reason is this, that they need to study, and they all have got the goals that they want to become a doctor. And it is very good because in the last somewhere around 3, 4 years, this number has surged from somewhere around 3 lakhs to now 23 lakhs. And the seats have hardly increased from 70,000 to now 1 lakh 9,000. So the competition is tremendous. And all these competitions have got some kind of thing like they are division of government seats and private seats are there. So that's why. So I think people don't get opportunity to study in India. This is the first reason. Second reason, which is there, is like these students, they've got better facilities when they go abroad to study. Uh, Once the infrastructure is good and they are more comfortable in a foreign country, maybe they will feel that they may spend 1 or 2 years more. This is also a thing which they have to consider, that they have to spend 1 to 2 years more in foreign countries. But still they are ready, because I've been recently visited Kazakhstan. I met all Indian students over there. They were all happy. They did not crib that why they did not get a seat over here. So they were quite happy. So this is one thing. Second thing. Then the third thing is, here the reservation policy is too much. Like in the general candidates or the general quota candidates have got limited seats in government colleges. There are somewhere around 58,000 seats, suppose, in the government colleges out of the total 109, 1 lakh 9,000 seats. And out of those 58,000, somewhere around 60% quota is there. So the total number of seats available for general candidates is somewhere around 20,000, 25,000 only. So India is such a large country, and if we consider only the government seats, then the limitation of seats is there. So reservation has actually brought down the entire thing to a less level. So they get opportunities over there. There is no kind of reservation abroad. Only in India we have got those reservations. So this is the third point. The fourth point is tremendous opportunities in research are there outside, whereas in India we don't get opportunities. Now we are getting those opportunities at many places, because our prime minister has launched many programs like Skill India and so much, and they have it is growing, but it is going to take some time. And if suppose a student does not get uh, admission in a government college, then his option is to go to a private college where the tuition fees is too high. So when they go outside, the tuition fees is within their pockets only. So it is like this, that they can afford that tuition fees. And apart from that, international exposure is always there for the students. So I think that's why the students are opting for going abroad, because once they go abroad, all these things will be taken care. Plus, many of the students have settled down there only. So with better job perspectives, better salaries. In India, they have to come back and then they have to slog around. So that is only, I think these are my points why students are going abroad.
According to the WHO, in 2022, we had 7.27 doctors per 1,000 people in our country. The number has been dwindling, it's going down. So, with already decreasing numbers and the medical professionals, even practicing doctors leaving for abroad and then never returning back, how do you think does it affect the Indian healthcare system with a growing aging population? We already have a lack of bed availability, and then the infrastructure, as you said, the government hospitals are not in a proper uh, proper. They don't have proper infrastructure to accommodate such patients. So, how do you think that affects the Indian population, the general people of the country?
Health should be a priority for any nation, and it should be in the topmost agenda. Health and education, these are the two things which are to be in the priority list. So India, with crossing 1 billion mark, and the increasing trend is there with the population, the number of doctors are not being produced in the same manner. And when we talk about this 7.5, like you said just now, 7.5 per 1,000 doctors, so this number includes allopathic doctors also, Ayurvedic and Ayush doctors also. So it is a total number basically. It's not a number only which is dedicated to MBBS and MDMS. So it is a total number. And when we talk about the number of colleges in India, so it crosses just 700 colleges, 706 colleges are there. So government is in a kind of a proposal is there that every district should have one medical college so that more doctors can be produced. But we have to spend hard on our doctors, on our healthcare. So other countries may be having somewhere around like while if I remember it correctly, in many developed nations like US or UK, they've got somewhere around one doctor every 200 patients, and we have got very less doctors. So that way we have to improve the doctors population. See, around 70 to 90,000 doctors are serving abroad, just 70 to 90,000. You bring them back, all of them, you bring them back, still the scenario will be practically almost same. Little bit percentage difference will be there, but not a gross difference will be there. So we have to constitute a uniform policy for medical education. You have to give them good standards of living, you have to give them good salaries, you have to give them a proper environment where they should not be scared about violence, which usually you see that on daily basis one or two news come that there has been a gunshot in a Delhi hospital, government hospital, or something like this. So something or the other is happening, which is very less in other countries. So the environment has to be congenial for them, comfortable for them, so that they don't think why they should go out. First of all, why a person goes out? It is not only doctor who is going out; it is the ITians also. In one time, if I'm remembering it correct, in AIMS, which is the premier most institution of our country, 50% of the doctors had gone out. So what is the point in giving them the education in the most premium institute if 50% of the doctors are going out? So we have to take a kind of a policy. We have to make a policy so that once this policy is made, the doctors should not be lured, because once they go abroad, who is deprived? Who is at loss? Our country is at loss because Indian doctors are considered to be the best doctors in the entire world. So once our doctor goes out, so they are getting the best of the doctors outside, and we are left behind with our average doctors. I don't say we are left behind with average doctors only. They are good doctors also over here, but the government has to format a policy where the exodus of doctors should decrease.
So, what are some
And
of
second question of yours, like if 70,000, 80,000 doctors have gone out, I don't think it is going to make an impact.
what are some of the key factors that we need to ensure that we produce more doctors and they feel fulfilled to practice and serve in this country? What are some of the basic things that doctors need?
Say, our doctors should have, first of all, a kind of a uniform policy where there is no confusion. A uniform examination policy is also very important, because sometimes the papers are very easy. When the student sits in the examination, 67 students will get 720 out of 720. In some years, there is no one who gets a 720 mark. So the examination policy, it has to start from beginning only. That's what I'm saying. First of all, the examination reforms are needed, where the policy has to be uniform. Secondly, being a doctor is a long duration. It's not a short duration course. there's too much of stress on doctors also. So almost 10 years is required to make a specialist doctor. And if you do a super specialization, it will add up to your 2 to 3 years more if you are clicking the exam in the first go. So that's why it is very, very important that these two issues should be solved first. From IMA side, we have opened up some helplines for them to reduce the mental stress. So because the suicide rates are also going up. So all these things are required. Plus, investment into the health structure, healthcare is very, very important from the government perspective. And there should be stringent laws against violence against doctors so that nobody does that. You see, in foreign countries, they give a time slot to a particular number of patients. Like a doctor will see only 8 patients a day or 10 patients a day. You go to any country, even if he is of supreme authority, like a minister or someone higher, they also have to come in queue. In India, we are seeing around 100 patients per day, 140 patients per day. Government hospitals, you just see the line, the patients are there. So almost 20,000 patients in one hospital, they enter into the OPDs and they see. So continuously, if you just burn them out, the doctors, so that is not a good sign with meager salaries. So this is also very important to take care of our workforce because this is the only workforce which are there. And there has to be uh, demand for paramedical workers also, like allied health sciences, like with nurses, good quality nurses, they are also going out. India is deprived because lots of South Indian nurses are going to Gulf countries now. You must have seen that. So that's why it is very important for them also not to go outside. And better facilities for the doctors, I think. Better laws for the doctors are required. A doctor who opens a clinic or a nursing home, he has to take somewhere around 40 permissions. By doing these 40 permissions, he is half killed. So many of the permissions, I agree, they are very much required. But other permissions, there comes the role of Babu Raj. And then you know what happens that how the things go bad and worse. So many of the things are there, which I think transformation is totally required in the healthcare industry.
Final question, what do you think about the NEET UG scam that happened this year and how it affects medical students, the entire industry, and common people like us?
The confidence of the common people is shaken because of this debacle which has happened this year. And it has been going on since when the NEET started. The second NEET was also declared in the same time when they said that you have to submit your previous course and then you can appear for re-NEET. So the re-NEET happened. So the first thing is uniformity in the examination is very, very important. Second thing is that they have to assure everyone, including us, all the students and the parents, that there will be no leakage of the exam, there will be no problems at the center, and they have to devise the exam strategy in a proper manner because now the NTA is taking care of the exam. It is not some small agency which is taking care of the exam. So that's why, because now 23 lakh students, if they come from home and they go back and they come back again, it is going to cause a lot of mental agony and trauma to them. So that's why it is very important that this exam should be done in the most fair manner, and the students should not suffer at all. So we are also shocked. And then as soon as the NEET PG came last year, if you remember, the seats did not fill, and ultimately they had to bring down the percentile, and they ultimately landed up at 0 percentile because 13,500 seats were empty.
Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for joining in. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.